How you all doing, boys? It's been a bit. Hope you've all had a good day. Today we're taking another look at another Harman Smith video. I know, what a shocker. He's the only man I pretty much cover. I'm not suggesting you boys should join my Discord and give me content, because, you know, it would be a lot easier instead of me doing it myself. Either way, what has my main man Harman Smith said today? He said himself, no shot, no lie, PlayStation has no games. Now, don't let the title deceive you, because what you're looking at right here is his next sad attempt at saying another platform does not have games. So now let's figure out which Last of Us he's talking about. Is he talking about the TV show or the game? I can understand the game, but the TV show? I don't think so. But how did this kill PlayStation exclusives? I want to know that, so let's go find out.
Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, Lore and Frey, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon.
Hi Harman, how you doing? Yeah, no confession, don't have anything special.
People aren't talking enough about, the decline of the PlayStation exclusive in recent years.
That's because there is no decline. The only time that I could ever think of one actually declining would be with the recent release of The Last of Us Part 1 on PC. But recent releases like Horizon Forbidden West and a couple other things did pretty well, God of War especially. And on top of that, Sony seems to be the only one out of the big three that is constantly releasing exclusives and had a pretty good year last year, and this year seems to be starting off meh, okay. Probably won't be that good.
I remember growing up how I was trained to believe that God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Resistance, Fall of Man, Uncharted were some of the best, most high-quality console brands ever. You're never going to find...
They're not console brands, Harman. They're games. I think you're looking at this a little bit too differently. See, it would probably help if you didn't do this all in one take, so, you can, get off your ass and actually, do a bit of editing behind your videos. Because maybe you could actually make a reasonable argument on why these things are dying. But since you only do this in one take, it makes you look really fucking stupid and unreliable. This is why no one will ever take you seriously.
Games this good on any other gaming platform. And as an adult, or even as a kid, rather, I kind of naturally gravitated more to the far superior Nintendo exclusives.
Color me fucking surprised. What was I expecting making this video? Him to say something different? I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna go insane. Why does he always do this? Come on, why are they better? At least tell us why they're better.
And now that I'm an adult and can go back and play all these games, playing Sly Cooper again was a really good example of this.
Harman, I don't think you're an adult. As much as I would like to believe you are, the way that you act on your Discord is very depressing.
I ended up feeling that wow, these PlayStation games really aren't that good at all. I can't imagine anyone being entertained by them or thinking they're funny or engaging or entertaining.
I know I shouldn't try to reason with you as it's a bad idea because you're fucking delusional. Have you ever just considered that people have different tastes? For example, you may prefer Nintendo games, but my ass may prefer fucking, I don't know, indie games. Because, I don't really have any fucking favoritism anymore. I used to be an Xbox fanboy, of course, but now it's just kind of I want to play whatever game fucking interests me. But have you noticed something that Harman has still not done? And that is, actually tell us why they're bad. He can say that they're not funny, not good, but can you give some examples to help us get a better understanding of where you're coming from? I mean, I can't expect much from a fanboy. They're genuinely fucking insane, so, we gotta do what we can make.
If you enjoy PlayStation games, it just means you don't have the experience, the knowledge of, better, superior games out there.
Fuck, I thought I was retarded. Harman, you know full well that maybe Nintendo could stand a chance if they weren't going around taking down anything to do with emulation of their games, and also fucking with other content creators. That shit's kinda rough. I hope that man gets through that shit. You keep saying superior games, Harman, but you're yet to show us any examples. Are you on about Nintendo games, Xbox games, or just anything you find that's interesting? If we have examples to compare, it would really help. But if I was to get any guess, it would probably be Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's the only game I've heard of from Nintendo.
Wario Land 3 is better than anything that PlayStation Studios has ever put out.
Oh yeah? How would you know? It's a subjective opinion, you fucking numbnut.
right? And over the past decade, it seems like Sony has really put themselves in a rut. They've really made a really glaring error that I don't think a lot of people have really picked up on, and that is, declaring The Last of Us to be a masterpiece.
Harman, you walking biological disaster, I'm gonna fucking lobotomize you with a didgeridoo. It's not the company that calls it a masterpiece, it's the community. They like the game that much that it's comparable. Even I can agree that the first one is a masterpiece. You should be shocked. I'm an Xbox fanboy saying that about a PlayStation game.
Right? By using the gaming media and corrupt gaming YouTuber shills to promote The Last of Us as one of the best games ever made, Sony established a standard that they themselves could not possibly live up to, right?
I think we can all agree that yes, there is some bias towards PlayStation, especially when Part 1 released on PC, barely anyone covered that. But that doesn't mean that everyone is fucking biased. Don't get me wrong, there are some outliers, but holy shit, you have to be the most delusional or schizophrenic fuck to believe that there's some conspiracy theory that everyone's out to get Nintendo.
Every follow-up, from God of War to Days Gone to even the sequel to from the same studio, Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us Part 2, all of them have paled in comparison to the myth, the legend, the iconic original The Last of Us, all right? The Last of Us was hyped so much that Sony cannot live up to its own hype. And as a result of that, following the release of HBO, which, had the similar pattern.
Harman. The problem is, when people really started to notice during The Last of Us 2, that was when people started to lose faith in Naughty Dog. Everyone can agree that Last of Us 2 was not a good successor to The Last of Us 1. The TV show is okay. It stayed true to the source material for the most part. And yes, it is probably the best adaptation of a game into film. As much as many people may disagree with my choice to bring up The Last of Us 2 in this situation, I think it would have been a much better thing for him to say. Because, everyone can agree The Last of Us 2 was kind of ass.
Of people, praising it and saying it was the greatest thing ever in spite of, having no real experience with other TV shows or...
How would you know they have no experience? And second, why is it important that they have experience? Can't they just sit down and enjoy something with family? Okay, we'll go by your logic then. You need to experience games to play Zelda. You need to experience whatever the fuck to play Elden Ring, Dark Souls, what other stupid shit can I think of? You know what I mean? Pretty fucking stupid logic.
Stories like it. It was the same, thing over again. We're at that point now where The Last of Us is kind of the last pillar holding up the myth that PlayStation is a high-quality video game development brand.
Honestly, every major company has their flaws. Sony just make movie games, Xbox, I don't know, they don't really finish their games. Nintendo, I haven't heard anything from them.
The Last of Us is the only IP that anyone talks about, anyone cares about, that anyone has any investment in.
I don't know, man. The PlayStation fanboys keep bringing up God of War Ragnarok. Ooh, but let's not forget, Horizon also exists as well, and they keep talking about that.
And it's entirely because of the fake artificial hype regarding the brand and just the publicity it's gotten over the past 10 years.
How is the hype artificial? I want to know. Are they using AI algorithms to spoon feed us the information? I mean, everyone does that. Are they using AI images to pretend that the game exists? I don't fucking get what you mean by this.
Right, nothing else even competes. Right, Horizon Zero Dawn was heavily promoted, heavily shilled, heavily beloved by critics. Heavily pushed to compete with Breath of the Wild. And what happens? Because the game can't be allowed to be bigger than The Last of Us, because The Last of Us has to maintain its image as that untouchable masterpiece.
I won't lie, why does every other fanboy try to make more sense than you? You just ramble on about some random bullshit. How is it untouchable? Why would you want to touch it after the Part 1 release? This makes no sense to me. You have no fucking clue what you're on about. I mean, we already knew that, of course. But trying to figure out what you're trying to argue is pretty fucking depressing. And if Last of Us is this untouchable IP that you say it is, why would they release it on PC in such a terrible state?
Of video game design or video game storytelling, Horizon never really had a shot. After that year was over, it was shoved to the side and made way for God of War. And that was shoved to the side and made way for Ghost of Tsushima.
I don't know about you, Harman. I want Ghost on PC, but those motherfuckers won't let me have it. Where do you keep getting this mindset of them pushing each other aside? They're under the same publisher. They're going to know when to release. They're going to release at an optimal time between each one. I don't know why you're thinking they're trying to compete between each other. They're all different games in their own right. More publicly accessible games like shooters or many other more high engagement games would be released first, then moved on to story driven and many other laid back games. It's just simple knowledge. Honestly, I hope I worded that right. Also, Harman, I hope you get hit with a boomerang. When you walk outside, of course. It's gonna love tap you, as they would say.
Which nobody talks about at all. And now we're, then that was shoved to the side in favor of, like, The Last of Us Part 2. And The Last of Us Part 2 was disappointing. So, like...
Yeah, that was a good way to fuck over your fan base. That game was a very big L.
Even the people who are rabid about The Last of Us, who genuinely thought this was, like, one of the best games ever made, have to, like, deal with the fact that, like, the series has fallen off. Now, I will tell you that the series was never good to begin with.
Harman, you think anything that isn't made by Nintendo is not good. I think we all established that a long time ago.
But with the reception that Last of Us Part 2 got, and with things going the way they are, with like the downplay, like just the general development structure of Naughty Dog not really talking or not really developing anything other than The Last of Us, with...
Can you please spit it the fuck out? It's not helping your argument, sitting there having a stroke. I won't lie with you, Naughty Dog does need to communicate more with its audience. Especially now, after that release from Part 1.
With the production of these TV shows, with like the shilling and stuff like that, like, when all is said and done, nobody cares about anything other than The Last of Us. And as a result of that, when The Last of Us
A lot of people care about God of War. Don't even fucking start. Even I think God of War's a minging franchise. Especially with the hype around Ragnarok, a lot of people seemed very interested in the franchise. Saying that no one cares about it is fucking stupid, and a blatant lie to yourself.
Which is its apex. Like, now that it's in decline, what exactly is going to replace it? What exactly is going to live up to the hype that The Last of Us set for itself? I genuinely think that...
No more think. Every time I think about your opinions, I want to die a slow, painful death.
Which I think will come about when Neil Druckmann is thrown from his position at Naughty Dog. Like, when...
Thank God, Last of Us can finally stop being woke and they can go back to that Giga Chad good time when the game actually had good storytelling. That's what I'm waiting for.
When The Last of Us dies, and developers are forced to kind of come up with something new or do something...
What, you mean not make a movie game? Fuck, that would be a good day. I mean, they really can't. They've got a winning formula on their hand of just them doing that constantly. It's all they really need. They make fucking millions from it.
Different, or innovate, or be something creative. It's going to be more and more obvious, I think, that PlayStation does not have a leg to stand on when it comes to their first-party developments.
You could say that about the entire fucking industry. The entire AAA industry is terrible. This is why I only play majority indie games now, because at least they give me some satisfaction.
Studios. Not a single one of them has put out anything relevant in over a decade, right? I would say
I don't know how the fuck people go through this mental gymnastics of trying to deconstruct this fucking creature's arguments. Does he not realize that Last of Us, God of War, and many of these franchises are still heavy hitters to this day? How do you go through the mental gymnastics of being this fucking retarded? All I have to do is repeat myself, and it shuts down any argument. It's not even fun anymore.
Last good, PlayStation developed exclusive was, Shadow of the Colossus. I'm a big fan of that game. But,
I refuse to believe you like something from another platform.
Generally speaking, when you look at, what Sony's been doing, when you look at, how little their shill campaigns really blast.
It's called an advertisement, not a shill campaign. If you go by that same mentality, Nintendo has multiple shill campaigns, you know what I mean? Just like everyone else.
When you look at how stuff like Knack becomes a joke, when you look at just how little enthusiasm people have for PlayStation exclusive titles, when you realize just how little people actually care.
I want to know what type of shit you've been smoking to come up with any of these opinions. I really do. It must take some form of mental gymnastics to word everything the way you do. I mean, it could be a natural talent, but I doubt that.
About Sony's first-party studios, when you really think about that, when you really talk about this, when you really go dig deep and really research this, Sony is the House of Cards is about to fall.
Where's the information? Can you at least show us some proof, honestly? It would really... I keep saying this, but it would really help your arguments. Just show some proof. Show us that this is going to happen. Do you have any data? Anything. It's all we fucking need. You just sit there and say, talk. Okay then, I can't be bothered to repeat myself anymore, as it just genuinely sucks. So, you boys all take care. Leave a like, subscribe, join my Discord. Also, you know, like I said, I would like help making content. Like, just show up and drop me some stuff. That's all I want. Bye bye, love you. Yeah, I said I love you. Cry about it, pussy.